Miss Elma, your video made me think about the promiscuity that goes on in the black community. I too watch the Atlanta Housewives. I love that show. And I was following the storyline with Kandi and her fiance AJ. And when you were talking about it in the video, I had to concede with a lot of the points that you made. Now, I think that when you marry someone, you marry their entire family. So his 6 kids would become her 6 kids. I wondered if the situation was reversed, would AJ, God rest his soul, but would he be interested in Kandi if she had 6 kids? I can't speak for him, and it's a shame that he doesn't have the privilege of speaking for himself anymore because his life was cut short. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he would not have looked twice at Kandi if she had 6 kids. I don't think he would have looked at her if she had 4 kids. The standards seem to be amended with regards to morality when it comes to black men. We always seem to relax the standards when it comes to them. I cannot understand for the life of me why it's okay for black men to sow their oats, but these same black men, ironically, they usually want to marry a virgin or a woman who's darn near a virgin. In an ideal, perfect world, we would all enter marriage untouched and pure. And in an ideal world, I think men would practice what they preached. Now, if men are supposed to be the leaders, the natural-born leaders, and I don't argue that they're not, because I'm of the mindset that they are, but if they're supposed to be the natural-born leaders, then they should be even more chaste than the women. If you're the leader, you have to set the standard. Men are supposed to be the gatekeepers of chastity for both males and females. Fathers are to teach the daughters how to conduct themselves and what is acceptable and ladylike behavior. Women take their cues on how to behave with regards to men from their dads and their granddads and the father figures around them. As we know, so many families, black families anyway, there isn't a father. The father is absent. So not only do these young girls not have a man to show them how to conduct themselves, but there is no man to protect them from sexual predators. And I think the greater shame is that older black men who should be like surrogate fathers, they're oftentimes the molesters and preying upon these young fatherless girls. I did some volunteer work one summer at a school for girls who were having all types of issues. But there were girls there who were 13, 14, and 15 years old, and they were already mothers. Of course, they had never been married. And believe it or not, the vast majority of the fathers to those girls' children were men in their late 20s. And we all know what was happening there. These men who should have been protecting these girls were actually taking advantage of them and their plight. And I think it's sad. Instead of them being father figures and protectors and helping them to learn what they should expect, they were taking advantage of these girls. I think that you made an excellent video with regards to the double standards and the hypocrisy in the black community. I don't think it's going to change unless black women start demanding that it changes. Now, I'm not going to say who should look for what in a mate with regards to what they're willing to accept, because we all have different standards. But if you're with a man and he's not going to be with a woman who has multiple kids or any kids, you don't need to be giving him any consideration. I don't know. I just don't think that AJ would have been looking at Kandi if she had had that many kids.